Wow. Okay. Well, it's been a few years since I put out a real YouTube video. I've been thinking about it for a while, just never got around to it. Let's just do it. Let's just carry out my ideas from now on. Hopefully I keep the ball rolling. This is going to be another video about just the history of whatever type of instrument I talk about in each video. Today in particular, we're going to talk about this Conn New Wonder Series 2, also known as the Conn Chewberry. Funny enough, Chewberry never played one of these. Allegedly, he played a Conn New Wonder Series 1, which is slightly different. For those of you who don't know, Conn was an American instrument company, mostly horns, in the early 1900s. Before the New Wonder 2, they made a model called the New Wonder 1, obviously, hence 2. And I think that was around 1915 or 16 to about 1925. Now, following that, they made something called the New Wonder 2, which improved on a few things. Mine, in particular, is what we call something called a transitional model. So this is a late production New Wonder 2 that features some stuff that carried over into the next saxophone that was made after that, which was the M series. For the tenor, it would be called a 10M. The alto was a 6M. So there are certain features of the M series that showed up on the late series New Wonder series. So the New Wonder 2 was produced from about 1925 to 1930, early 1930s, and then the transitionals were mainly 1930 to 35, and then I think the M series pretty much started at 1935, which was a completely different instrument. However, the New Wonder 1 and the New Wonder 2 shared a lot of resemblance and features and key work and whatnot. Certain things were just improved upon on the Series 2. The easiest way to spot a New Wonder 2 from a New Wonder 1 is this G-sharp key. This G-sharp key has what we call a nail file design. You could see the texture. This is not for everybody. Personally, I don't have a problem with this. I actually like how this feels. I like this. Being such an old design, you can't play G sharp with B flat, B or C sharp. Only G sharp opens the G sharp pad. Another feature that was left off of saxophones to come is the G sharp trill key. Now on this one, it works where you hold it down and G sharp is on, and then you use your bottom hand to trill and make it a G natural. Some of the features that exist on my specific saxophone that make it a transitional, I believe this one's a 1932 or a 33. I think 32. This features the Conn 10M neck. To my knowledge, they're the same exact neck, with the difference being the octave pip, or the hole that the octave key sits on. So this is what is called a shot glass octave pip. Looks like a shot glass. It protrudes up pretty far. So here's just some examples of what you would have found on a New Wonder 1 or a New Wonder 2 pre-transitional model. The octave pip is just like short. And here's a better photo of mine where you can just see it's longer. Looks like a shot glass. So that was carried on over into the M series saxophones, but started appearing on the late New Wonder series, 1930 to 1935. Another feature that was specific to the M series, but you could find horns earlier, like mine, was the engraving. My engraving features the iconic naked lady. It's very faded, but you could see her. There she is, right here. Now, for both New Wonder 1 and 2, Conn actually did a lot of like really elaborate engraving work, most of which was custom. Some was Art Deco. The Art Deco is definitely some of my favorite options offered. Very rare. And then some of them were just regular Conn logo, or some of them even the Conn logo without the flowers, if you wanted to just, for whatever reason, have the most blank horn. This one used to be silver plate. A lot of it is tarnished and rubbed off. Some of this is even turned black. What these horns are known for is you have rolled tone holes. I talk about that in another video about the Conn 10M. You could see that the edges of the holes are, they're pulled up and then they're rolled over, so they're soft. People claim that it sounds a certain way. I think it was more of a way to preserve the pad life. It's not this sharp, rigid edge tone hole against the soft leather pad over time. Maybe that would wear it out faster than something that has been rounded out. Personally, from a repairman's standpoint, these are harder to get right. If they are not level, you're gonna have a hard time. The New Wonder 2 introduced this style octave key. Now the New Wonder 1 had it in the same spot, vertical octave key like this, but it was more of a teardrop shape. This is actually pretty cool. It's specific to, kind of wraps around the thumb rest. I think the New Wonder 1 also featured this brace, which I love. I think it's iconic of these instruments. The other thing that's pretty iconic of these instruments is the way the low B flat and the low B are split on the bell. You have right and left. Usually they're both on one side, either right or left, but it's split. So some famous examples of players in the past who played these instruments include Jimmy Giuffre, who had a modified neck to have it like angled up and more of a straight angle. That's pretty interesting. Charles Lloyd, who's a favorite of mine, and somebody of today you could think of Tavon Pennicott. Sounds amazing. The bore of these horns are very different than what's being produced these days. In terms of key work, for me generally, I'm pretty comfortable on stuff like this. This lower hand is a little more spaced out than most modern instruments, so it would have to be something that you might get used to or have to get used to. My saxophone, this particular one, has been modified slightly. Someone blew a hole in the back of the thumb rest and installed a modern one, so it's got this little lip. I mean, that kind of helps. It's not something I would particularly do to an instrument myself, but it, I bought this one and it already had it installed. I didn't pay attention to it much. Another thing is this bis key was moved. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see. It was originally here. Somebody slid it over here so you can get to it. There's still quite a bit of space in between. One day I might plug that up. I don't play this horn enough to feel so strongly about, modding it further, but something you could do, something I could do, something to, be aware of if you're a bis key guy like me. You might want to modify it because that's one of the characteristics of both the New Wonder 1 and 2 and the Transitionals, is that this bis key is kind of far away, and that can get some getting used to. The cool thing that they did is that they took the neck strap hook, where was it? The neck strap hook used to be here, and they moved it down here. Why is that? Well, the horn kind of hangs different from here. Now, if I put up here, the horn's gonna hang like this, and that saves me from knocking myself in the face or my teeth. I generally have a pretty bright sound on most instruments, but when I play this horn, I find that it kind of mellows me out. It's a rich, the lower octave, very, very, very rich lower octave. Nothing really feels like these instruments. It's just one of those things where you just kind of have to try it and get a feel for it. Make sure you play one that's actually in good shape so you don't get a sour impression. But yeah, I always felt that the low end had a very specific, rich sound. I like how these take the air, not too much resistance. And, you know, I'm sure people would argue I never have inconsistent tuning problems. I tune generally sharp, but I'm pretty consistently sharp across the board. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, the gist of it. And I'll show you what it sounds like.